Hello again, and today I'm here to talk about government systems and how government works. I would like to say that democracy is the best form of government, but I would be wrong. What is the best form of government? My friends, that's a trick question. There is no best form of government, even though the media would like to make it believe that democracy is the best form of government. There is none. They're wrong. Now, the best form of government for America is democracy. Why? Because we're rational people who can have a civil conversation and argument on whether to change law. In other countries, people have religious fanatics that won't be able to do such things. And when they're sat down to a civil, rational conversation, they will start shooting each other with AK-47s. And we can't have that. Okay, we'll take China. China works best under communism, mainly for the fact that it has so many people. The population is just amazing, and it couldn't possibly be able to hold all those people, uh, control all those people in a democracy. And also the fact that in Chinese history, there's always been a tyrannical ruler that has been honored by an obedient population, and that will always be that way. That's just the Chinese mindset, and there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, Europe. Europe is very similar to us. That's why they have democracy, but at the same time, they also have socialist economies. Why is this? Because Europe has always been stretched by war. Ever since the beginning of the continent came to be, there's been war on the continent. So finally, they were able to get some large controlled government groups like the EU, like the European Trade Union, and also from the help from America, the Marshall Plan, that was able to keep the continent, from tearing itself apart from war again. That's why they have socialist economies, and at the same time, it helps them with a lot of public um, factors such as transportation, education, because the people actually pay taxes there. In Iraq and the other Middle Eastern countries and in many African nations, they have tyrannical dictators. Why? Because the people there are irrational and cannot have a democracy because they cannot have a civil conversation, because that's just the way their cultures go. They're religious zealots, and if you're going to be a religious zealot, you have to have a iron-fisted ruler to control you from preventing a civil war like is happening in Iraq now. Now, you might say, well, what about the poor people who are in those countries? They'll never be able to ever see the light of democracy. Well, that's where you're wrong. The people will have a choice on which kind of government they will be run under. It's the mindset of the people that will decide the government system that the country will be run on. So, in a sense, all people have a choice on which kind of government they want. If they're going to be rational and accept democracy, or are they going to be religious zealots and have to have an iron-fisted ruler holding them from tearing each other to bits. Now, this has happened now when a country's people is dissatisfied with their government. They themselves, without the help of outside sources, although they might have it like we did in our revolution against the British, we had help from the French, but the French didn't come in and just decide we're going to have a revolution. No. They themselves will decide, without the help of outside sources, they will have a change of government. This has happened, for instance, in England. during the Glorious Revolution, and also during the English Civil War. It happened to us in 1776, where we overran the British and formed our own country based on humanitarian democracy. It happened in Greece, I don't know how many times, when Sparta took over Athens, Athens took over Sparta. It happened in France in 1789, when the French overthrew King Louis XVI and created a democracy themselves, which then was overrun and turned into a dictatorship under Napoleon I. And it happened in Germany in the early 1930s, when the Weimar Republic, a democracy, was overrun by a dictatorship because the democracy wasn't running very well at the time. And it happened in Cuba in 1959, it happened in China in 1949, and it happened in Russia twice. Once in 1917, where it turned from monarchy to democracy, to communism, and then it happened in 1991, where it turned from communism to democracy. See, it can happen either way. Did those people ever have help to choose themselves to overrun the government? No. See, it will always happen this way. The people have a choice, always. So, next time you say that democracy is the best form of government, ask yourself if you're really thinking about just America or the entire world.